Racism, hashtag not in our game.
I'm Callum.
I'm Will.
I'm Sunny.
And we're here for Game of the Week.
Game of the Week!
From Grassroots Football. Today we've got a big lineup for you. We've got stats, highlights, play of the week and the subject of the week. Today, the subject of the week is the England v Bulgaria match, which we'll be moving on to very shortly. But first up, we've got stats with Will.
The first stats of the day is obviously probably the biggest game of the weekend so far. River Juniors versus Mainliners. Now, moving into this game, River Juniors are edging on stats. They have so far recorded the most possession in the league and the most goals, also along with the most clean sheets. I think this will be a tough game for River, but I think they'll come out on top.
So, Sonny, what's your view on that?
Yeah, I think I agree with Will and I agree with River Juniors just edging on that, coming and winning that game.
Yeah, the stats show that it might be a very tough game, but River Juniors might be on top. Have we got any mainline stats?
Mainliner stats, the key player this season has probably been Luke Adams at the back. He's been a standout performer, winning most of his tackles this season, with an 80% but winning the ball rate. But I think he has some mistakes in him sometimes in games when he looks a bit panicky on the ball, because he hasn't kept it much. He's only kept it about 25% of the time. So I think River, if they can press him well enough, they can capitalise on that and can possibly get a few goals off it.
Good. That's what we like to see. Goals at the weekend. Right, now on to highlights. I reckon highlights of the week should start off with Sunny for this week.
I think the highlight of the week was when Josh ran down the wing, passed it into the box, and Niall headed it in the top corner.
No. My highlight of the week has to be River's team goal, where there was 50 passes in the build-up and he just striked it in ever so nicely with Callum and finishing off the move. The keeper who ran forwards just as River were playing, just as River had the ball, ran into the box, and there was 50 passes in the build-up as I said before, and Callum just come in and slotted it past the goalkeeper.
I've got to stick with Sonny. I don't think that I've just got to stick with Sonny for that one. So, Sonny, I reckon your highlight is probably going to be highlight of the week for the
Highlight of the week.
Highlight of the week, Sonny's highlight. So, moving on to player of the week. So, last week we all had our own opinions of this, but I think this week we might be a bit more settled with this. Will, who's your player of the week?
The player of the week for me has to be Wisdom from River Juniors. He really ran the show in there in midfield this weekend, and he just, every time he got the ball, he looked dangerous for the other team. He was running after defenders, committing players and playing some great balls in behind for the strikers to run onto. He has to be my player of the week.
Sonny, what about yours?
I'll stick with William. Wisdom was boss in the air and also running at the defenders and the midfield, winning loads of tackles, and he looked dangerous with the ball.
I've got to say, player of the week is Wisdom. Have we got any stats to show any contenders as well with that?
Some of the contenders could be, I know he's sitting here, but Sonny Sullivan could be one. He has really done well this weekend. He scored 2 goals and bagging an assist as well. He was a contender. Another one was Luke Adams, winning most of his tackles again, but I don't think he was as effective as Wisdom.
Yeah, I've got to go with Wisdom after hearing those stats. So, our player of the week for this week goes to Wisdom from River Juniors.
Wisdom.
Player of the week, Wisdom. Ref Watch.
Ref Watch.
So, this week we've got a new subject of Ref Watch. We're obviously here for respect, and that is the other main reason we're here, apart from grassroots football. Will, have you got anything on Ref Watch this week?
I think the refs did brilliant handling all situations because there wasn't a feisty affair on Santos v Mainliners where there was two kids trying to punch each other, but the ref quickly stepped in and took them out and red carded them. But it was only for 10 minutes because the ref in these leagues are very good letting players come back onto the pitch.
Good, good. Sonny, what about your Ref Watch in your league?
Very good. Given us when we got like tripped over, he gave us free kicks and everything, and that's mine.
I reckon refs, I'd have to agree with Will with that. Brilliant, 10 out of 10. And they've got some good refs in our league.
Especially keeping all the players safe.
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons. Will's going to do a little bit of stats for us about refs and reds and yellow cards and stuff like that.
The refs in these leagues, not lenient, but are very, very, I can't think of a word to say, are very cautious on giving players cards. They don't give them out whenever they can. So they like to keep players on the pitch and they don't want to always give them cards. So I think they deserve a bit of a round of applause for that. There's only one yellow card given out for the full weekend on 6 different leagues, which was absolutely amazing.
Good, that's what we like to see. So only one yellow card in the whole of the week so far. Next week hoping to look better with none, but we'll just have to see. But refs, outstanding, 10 out of 10 for this week. So moving on to touchline. Will, what do you think?
Well, I think the refs did very well handling this parent the other day who just wouldn't stop shouting at the ref. He was just giving him loads and the ref just treated him with respect and said if you don't stop, well, we might have to ban you. And he did stop eventually, which is a good sign. And that's how refs should do it. Shouldn't just send them away because they've come here to watch the kids. But as well, if they're not giving them enough respect, the referees, they could do that because it's just not good enough. The ref turns up to have like a fair game and he wants to watch some good football. So you can't really treat the refs that badly really. So I think good from the ref there.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I reckon cross the line, don't cross the line, do a lot as well because showing all stats, it looks like they've done pretty well with out of hands parents. So, Sonny, what do you reckon on those stats?
Yeah, I reckon with the refs being really good and handling that parent that Will said about, I think them stats are fair.
Yeah, Will, what do you think about don't cross the line? Do you reckon they're doing a good job?
Don't cross the line are doing an absolutely great job protecting all referees in the league from some parents who just get out of hand sometimes in the games. So yeah, I think it's a great thing to work on in the future as well.
Yeah, good. That's what we like to see. So now, subject of the week.
Subject of the week.
Subject of the week. So this week, our subject of the week is England's v Bulgaria match. You know what we're gonna say, the racism in it. This is something that we don't want to be saying, but we've got to say about. So, Will, what do you think about it?
I have 3 words: kick it out. It's appalling that we're still hearing this in 2019. Racism should not be allowed in football, and I think the players handled it very professionally, and so did the referee and commentators, giving them 3 warnings. He got to 2 before half time. That's absolutely disgraceful, but you just can't be doing that in grounds now.
Yeah,
it's not good enough.
So Bulgaria fans, with the FA fining them for racist abuse, they had 3 strikes, as Will said. They had 2 before half time, and that's just unacceptable. I reckon any more, and they're gonna kick Bulgaria out. I reckon because they've already had, what was it?
They've had previous incidents as well.
2 or 3.
Especially when he played France.
It's just getting stupid now, and it was stupid in the first place because no one should be saying this racist abuse
Black
because
players now might be scared to step on the footy pitch, and that's not what we want in professional
I know
football.
everyone's the same, everyone's equal, everyone's got a right to play without getting abuse because of either colour of the skin, religion or anything. It should just be a fair game for everyone, and that's what it's meant to be.
If I heard someone shouting racism at any of my players on the line, I'd just be like, I'd be very upset, and I can only imagine what the player being abused would feel. It's just, it's just not fair on the player, because you don't want to turn up to a grassroots football game especially and just be abused racistly as well. I think the parents or whoever's shouting it should just be banned for life instantly. I think it's a disgrace.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of teams there's a lot of different religions, different coloured skin players that just want to have fun, and I haven't saw it that much in grassroots football, but there has been some occasions where there has been racist abuse, and it's just stupid. It's grassroots football. You just turn up to have a bit of fun with the mates, and then they get racially abused. It's pointless going, basically.
That could scar someone for life as well, being racially abused like that. They might never want to play for that team again, or any other team.
And it's sad because they're wanting to play, they're wanting to have fun, they're wanting to play their favourite sport, their favourite game, and they can't do it properly because of racist abuse and stuff like that. And I think in our team we've got really good fans. No one in our team would shout that at anyone in our team because the parents are just amazing. If anyone,
I think most teams like that, just the odd few, to be honest.
it's just only a couple of people, and I'd feel
Ashamed.
appalled and ashamed if anyone said that to anyone in my team, even if it was our rivals team, Mainliners Santos. I don't know how to describe it. I just feel horrified and horrible for that player as well, and they've got to go home and think of that for the rest of their life basically, and I don't think they'll ever be the same again, and that's the sad thing about it.
If you're a parent out there or anyone just thinking of racially abusing someone, just think again. Just think about what it could do to that person. It could scar them for the rest of their lives, and just don't do it, please.
I agree with that. It's absolutely stupid. So if you're gonna do it, why would you in the first place? Don't do it. You wouldn't like it. You wouldn't like someone else to shout at your son or your daughter. It's just
Treat others how you want to be treated.
yeah.
And a message to all grassroots children out there: just end racism. It shouldn't be in football. It shouldn't be anywhere.
So what we're looking forward to next week. Next week we've got good fixtures coming up with Mainliners v Santos. That'll be a tough match. River Juniors v Quarry Green, and a whole lot of others, especially under 13s and under 10s with Sonny's league as well. Sonny, what do you think on your fixtures for this week?
I think it'll be a little bit hard, but I think we'll just get that big win, like 5-2.
Good.
My team.
I am so excited for this week's fixtures. You just can't get any better watching these fixtures. Yeah, Mainliners v Santos, that's the big one I think everyone's looking forward to. That's going to be a very tough game. It's hard to call the winner in that one. I think we also have River v Quarry Green. That's going to be a great game to see. Quarry Green's strong defence and River the best attack in the league. So that's going to be a good game. You also have Sonny's River team versus Everton Phoenix. So that's going to be a tough game as well for them. But just going to be an amazing weekend to watch, and if you can, tune in and watch it on any end you can, really.
Yeah, I reckon Santos v Mainliners is probably the standout match for me, because either any result for them, whether it be Mainliners winning, Santos winning or a draw, is probably going to position them in the table for the rest of the year and the end of the season. So it's a big match to win. You don't want to lose it.
Last year's two of the top three there.
Yeah, with the top three in last year's league was Santos, Mainliners and River Juniors, and the last match of the season was Santos v Mainliners. It was that close by 2 points. It had to be decided on the last match. Santos taking the win 5-4. It was a very close match. I reckon this is going to be even better with all the summer signings over the summer. I reckon both teams are stronger and ready to play on the brand new pitches, bigger and better, and I think that's what the match is going to be.
So moving on to the first game, we have River Juniors under sixes versus Netherton Phoenix. I think it's going to be a close one, but I think River Juniors come out on top 2-1. Then in the Hightown League, we have also under sixes. We have another Netherton team actually, I think it's Netherton United actually, versus Quarry Green Rangers. And I think it's going to be a close game. Quarry Green, I think I did 1-0 and predicting for Quarry Green. Then we have the last league's third place River Juniors versus Quarry Green, who managed to scrape survival last season. And I think River Juniors going to take that one by storm. I think it's going to be 4-0 to River Juniors. Then we have the biggest one of the weekend, Mainliners v Santos. I think that's going to be a close one. I'm going to go for 3-0. What do you think?
That River Juniors under sixes, I think it'll be, although Netherton seem to be a brilliant side, I reckon River Juniors will just take over and be start of the show for that week in that league. Going for a 4-1 win with the Juniors. So on to Netherton United against Quarry Green Rangers. I reckon that'll be a pretty hard match for Netherton, and I reckon that'll be a close match because Quarry Green Rangers have got a very good defence, and it's going to be a good match. But I'm going to go for 1-1. So moving on to the upper age, under 13s, River Juniors versus Quarry Green. Obviously Will said River Juniors third last week, Quarry Green just making it out of relegation. So I reckon going to be a pretty good win for River Juniors. I reckon it's going to be 6 or 7 with the star striker Wisdom up front. He's absolutely amazing, scoring every week, nearly a hat-trick every week so far. So that's going to be a pretty easy match for River Juniors, I'd say. Moving on to Mainliners v Santos, the big match of the week. I reckon that it's going to be a really, really good match. If you're going to come to any of these matches, I'd suggest going to that one. That looks like a brilliant match with their starting lineups for the past 3 weeks. They're looking really good. So this is probably going to be the standout match of the week for me. So I'm going to say 3-4. So Santos 4-3 win. I just think Santos have got that edge because Mainline's defence, when they panic, they just get ripped apart, and I just think Santos get that pressure, then I think it's all over for Mainliners. What do you think, Sonny?
I think River Juniors will just get the 2-1 win, and for Netherton vs Quarry Green Rangers, I think Quarry Green will just get the 1-0, and for Mainliners v Santos, I'm gonna go for Santos 4-3, and for River Juniors vs Quarry Green under 13s, I'm gonna go for.
So, what's the scoreline for River Juniors v Quarry Green then? Well,
I think it could be a close game because Quarry Green have really improved this season. So It's a tough one to call. I'd probably go for 3-1 to River Juniors though.
Sonny, what about you? What River Juniors quite Green? What score do you reckon
I
that's
think
going to be?
River Juniors will get that win, like 7-6, and I think Quaddy Green might just get an equaliser.
So I'm thinking 3-1 for River Juniors. Could be a close match because Quarry Green, as Will said, have really improved since last season because they just scraped relegation and have brought in loads of new players. The team has completely changed and they're all really better now. And I reckon they have a good chance in this league. I don't think they'll go down. They're a good team.
I think they have too much quality to go down.
Yeah, not a team like that can't go down, and I just think that they're gonna be one of those teams that aren't gonna go down, and they're always gonna be up for a challenge and ready for whatever comes at them next. So I'm calling a 3-1 win for the Juniors, but it could be close. So I just want to say a big thank you to Will and Sonny, my fellow players watching and joining in with me, and you watching at home. And I just think it's been a brilliant week so far. Looking forward to next week with the big fixture, Mainline of Santos. Hope you can join in for that one. And this has been Game of the Week. Thank you.
Game of the week!
Game of the week!